process was fairly simple. It was to identify an artist that had the abilities, skills, and talent to be able to represent one of the largest murals in the country, but also an image that was going to represent the city. So we were given the objective and the mandate to go and create a process of best practices to understand what it meant to identify the artist, but then also to identify the sites that were going to be considered.
I always ask in the beginning with the stakeholders of a project, like, what is the mission of this project? What do you as a funder, what do you as a contemporary art institute, what do you as a community citizen want to get out of this project? I would not ask the question, what do you want to see in the mural?
Large public murals are unlikely to occur without the commitment of a community's philanthropic and arts organizations. In Omaha, the process that brought Fertile Ground to life began with an agreement between the Peter Kiewit Foundation, which provided the necessary funds, and the Bemis Center for Contemporary Arts, which executed the project. After a thorough nationwide search, this partnership selected artist Meg Saligman to capture the spirit of Omaha on a larger-than-life canvas. The completed mural would be a gift to the city.
I am a strong proponent for whatever the artwork may be, the art needs to be a quality piece of artwork, and the process also needs to be quality.
After being commissioned, Saligman was given only 2 guidelines. First, the mural should include the history of the city of Omaha. And second, be painted in a realistic style. Within these parameters, Saligman was free to begin work on the project.
The way that Energy Systems Company was selected as the, quote, canvas for the mural, the Bemis and Peter Kiewit Foundation were looking for a place to have public art, and in particular, a huge mural. And Energy Systems Company, being a good partner to the public and to our neighborhood, we immediately took advantage of that opportunity to be the canvas for the mural.
So I guess the first step is, in Fertile Ground, for the design process, was to come to Omaha and speak with people.
Meg interviewed hundreds and hundreds of people. She did her research through multiple sources to really get a strong sense of what Omaha was as a city. I think she did to an extent where she became almost this sort of historical ambassador of the city and understood probably Omaha as well as anyone who has lived there for their whole life, and maybe even to some extent more, because she was purposefully looking for things that not only represented what Omaha was about, but really understanding the sort of soul of the city.
We talked a lot about the sky. She said everyone had mentioned the sky, and that obviously came through in the mural in a big, big way, and kind of figure out, you know, the character of Omaha.
Also at that time, it's research of facts. What has happened here? I mean, these are facts that are documented.
In order to create an accurate representation of Omaha's past, Saligman made 3 research trips to Omaha, the first in February 2008. One of the places where she conducted research was at the Douglas County Historical Society. The archive contains numerous primary sources, such as old photographs, journals, and newspapers that date back to the 1850s.
You have professionals from all walks of life that come here to do research, whether they be artists, lawyers, authors. Many journalists also do research here. And of course, students and graduate students do the research here because there are a lot of primary sources here.
Well, when Meg came here, I don't think she necessarily asked for any specific photos or eras, or I guess I just wanted to show her stuff that I thought reflected different aspects of the history, different eras.
Saligman continued her research by visiting the Durham Museum in downtown Omaha. The museum contains the city's largest collection of historic Omaha photographs. Included in this collection are the photographs from the Louis Bostwick collection, which Saligman used to help create the mural's historical images.
Typically what happens when researchers come in is they're looking for something uniquely Omaha. And I believe just having learned a little bit about what Meg was looking for, that's kind of what it was, is what was Omaha, what makes Omaha Omaha. Most of what Meg saw while she was here was the Bostwick collection, Louis Bostwick collection. And Louis Bostwick is actually in the mural. He is there with his camera. It's a very iconic picture of him. And another one of his photos, very famous, iconic photo of his, is of ladies running in Hanscom Park. And you can see the 3 of those ladies in the mural itself.
There were many visits to the beautiful archives here in Omaha. And also, we were collecting images of present-day Omaha citizens. So there was a lot of actual photograph taking, photographs of nature, photographs of people. Everything in the mural has a reference and comes from Omaha. When you begin to photograph people for the mural, and it begins a little bit broader, you may have an idea. For instance, in Omaha, someone had said, people navigate together and move amongst each other with ease here. It's a city that you can walk around. It's a city where people are working together. And there was a repeated description of walking through each other. So for the first photographic session, I asked people to sort of walk and to take stills of them in the process of walking. My design is mostly generated digitally. We're working with primarily photographic references. Sometimes there's a limitation to photographs, and sometimes we need to draw ideas, different views. We don't want to necessarily be held to only things that could come from a photograph. So it works both ways, but they're primarily images that are played with, manipulated in the computer. They're made larger, they're made smaller, they're flipped around, they're put with different things. There's an ease in the designing of being able to handle thousands of choices. When it's in the computer, we then put a grid over it, and we can divide it into small sections. So the process has an ease.
Before Saligman could begin her work, the walls of the Energy Systems building needed to be prepared for painting. The first step was a deep cleaning. Using pressurized water, workers thoroughly washed the building twice. Free from dirt and debris, the walls were then covered with a white primer, which helped the mural bond to the surface of the building and gave it a more uniform finish. The walls were finally painted a deep blue, which served as a background color. This was done because the vast Nebraska sky comprised a large part of the mural and also aided in making the top coat colors more vibrant.
The first step, after you have the grid, you know you've got the same grid on the wall that you have on your design. The first step is then we number all the squares so that when we're at square, let's say A220, we know where we are, and we number the drawings. And the first step is to put a sketch, a big sketch up of everything. It doesn't matter whether it's on cloth, whether it's directly painted on the wall. We want to know that before we paint anything, that we know where everything's going, and then it's all fitting on there properly. Then the second step, we begin painting directly on the wall. In fertile ground, say 70% of the mural is directly on the wall, and 30% is on the cloth. So in the studio, this is great because we have rain day work. We're producing the cloth that will be painted in the studio and put on the wall. So it's basically a big acrylic system with a sheet of acrylic. You roll the back of it with acrylic, you squeegee it out, so it's one big plastic coat that kind of sucks itself to the wall. So it's sort of a wallpaper thing without the glue. It's an all paint acrylic system. I think it's the job of the artist to guide the making of this visual work. because that's what I know about.